For my mystery novel, I read The Fourth Door by Paul Halter. The new tenant at the Darnley residence volunteers to spend several hours inside of the haunted room in the attic of his new home. The door to the room can only be opened from the outside using a unique coin. When the door to the room is finally open, the man is gone and a new dead body lays on the wood floor with no sign of any broken windows or any exit. What happened to the original volunteer, and who is the new victim lying dead on the ground? James Stevens is a young man that lives in the village and narrates the novel, and he is the protagonist because he is so close with all of the other characters. He's best friends with Henry, siblings with Elizabeth, and also best friends with John Darnley. Henry is the best friend of James, and he has a crush on James's sister Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is the sister of James, who also has a crush on Henry. John Darnley is another good friend of James, and at the beginning of the novel, he's grieving the suicide of his mother, and Mrs. Darnley is the mother to John, who was found in a locked room with stab wounds in her torso, and many people of the town are torn because some think that she was murdered, and some people think that she took her own life. The Latimers are new tenants in the top floor of the Darnley house, and many people in the village think that they're a weird couple. The woman is into witchcraft, and the husband believes in ghosts. Dr. Alan Twist is the lead detective in the murders that take place in the village. The fourth door begins by explaining the odd death of Mrs. Darnley. Many people in the village, including James, believe that Mrs. Darnley was murdered simply because of the number of stab wounds on her body, and he doesn't think that she could have done that to herself. The local police force concluded that she died, though, due to suicide, because the door of the room where she died was bolted shut, with no other ways for a killer to escape. None of the windows in the room were broken, and none of the wood floors could have been moved or anything like that. Several new families decided to live on the top floor of the Darnley house, but they all complained about lights turning on in the middle of the night, strange noises, footsteps, all coming from the room where Mrs. Darnley died. The Latimers, a young couple, decided to rent out the floor as well, and after noticing the strange nightly occurrences coming from the fourth door in the attic, the man Patrick Latimer decided to spend the night in the room to investigate what was occurring. So Patrick sealed the door shut with wax so that he could only leave the room using a hand-picked coin that had unique ridges on it, so he had no way of escaping on his own. The next morning, Patrick was nowhere to be seen. Instead, a man was lying on the ground in his place with a dagger in his back. Many questions include what happened to Patrick Latimer, how did anyone enter the locked room, and how could Patrick have left the room without being noticed? You gotta read the book to find out. My personal connection to the fourth door is Knives Out. Knives Out tells the story of the death of Harlan Thrombey. Everyone present at the time, which was his family members and friends, they all had motivation to kill Mr. Thrombey due to the money and the new will he created that would give money to the rest of his family. And the fourth door is similar just because of the constant use of twists and turns. For the academic side, the fourth door is quite easy to read, and it's very entertaining because it's not easy to anticipate the twists and turns, and they're all unexpected. There were times when I wished the author would stick to one topic for a longer duration, and some of the twists felt forced. It was basically every chapter there was a new twist or some turn. Although the book can be confusing at times, I highly recommend The Fourth Door to people my age, and I think the age range would be from 14 years old to 18 years old. Many people would enjoy the creepy attic in which the deaths occur, and the creepy English village, and they would also like being able to think as a detective would think.